Hey everyone, it's Wale Oladipo here. How to transform your self-confidence. Restoring, restoring your lost self-confidence. I don't know about you. For our life to be fulfilled, for you to be able to say that you've tried your best and you've achieved your destiny, you've got to be able to have a reasonable amount of self-confidence. But what we do know is that what is lacking the most in the world today is a sense of self that believes that he or she is capable, is good enough. Many people believe that they are defective. They believe that they are flawed. They are not good enough. They are unworthy. They have been dented. Because of that, they do not deserve the very best the world has got to offer. Now, we do know, based on studies in attachment, childhood attachment research, that most of our self-confidence ability has been eroded during the early age of our development, especially if you've been exposed to a particular parenting style that is adversarial towards self-expression, towards actually expressing your emotions. And also, if you have not been able to form a very strong bond with your primary caregivers, for some reason, for many reasons, maybe because you came from a polygamous home, or your parents or your caretakers, your primary caregivers were going through their own issues that did not allow them to be able to connect with you, to become emotionally attuned into you, so that the brain, the neurological machine for emotional regulation, could develop and blossom. Now, if you have been exposed to like an over-controlling parenting style, or even a narcissistic parenting style growing up, where you basically become the sounding board for the expression of the other person, so they're not allowing you to express your views. You can't even make mistakes. People like that will grow up as though they've been defective and flawed, but no human is defective or flawed. It is the way we were programmed, according to John Bowlby. But John Bowlby was one of the biggest brains with regards to attachment classification. And he said something very fascinating. He said that children have no capability to regulate their internal operating system. They depend on the external environment, especially the primary caregiver, to program what they called their internal working model, from which they'll begin to self-express throughout their life. So if your internal working model has been programmed in a negative way, maybe it's programmed for anxiety, for emotional repression, because you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to even express anything, you will grow up as though you've been defective, as though you are not good enough, even though you know that you are capable of you're capable of more, but you somehow can't express those things because there's this huge inner critic attack that you get all the time that kind of destroys your ability for composure, for confidence, for self-expression. Now, if that has happened to you, there's hope. You could reconnect back to your little you that's been treated negatively. It doesn't matter whether it's emotional abuse, or the sexual abuse, or just physical abuse, or whatever it is that's happened in the past. The first key is recognition, is the acceptance that something has happened in the past that has shaped my brain and controlled my biochemistry the way I am right now. But this is not me. This is not me. This happened as a result of an oppressive, emotional situation that I went through. And I would like you to write down some affirmations that you want to be focusing on. First of all, you have to start with I, who I am. I am confident, for instance. I'm confident. I'm confident with people. I'm confident in my area of expertise. I'm confident with regards to my relationship with other people. I'm confident to transform my intangible goals, intangible passions and expertise into tangibility that the world will use, the world we interact with, and they will be transformed by. You write things down as though the wishes have been fulfilled. Write things down as though your wishes have been fulfilled. Eliminate something like I wish or I'm going to. Write your affirmation down. Now, after you've done your I am confident, I'm in control of my emotions. I am good enough to achieve what life can offer me. After you've done all your all your I ams, now you now want to do your I refuse. Now this is very powerful. Pay attention to the negative emotions that you feel, and you want to make sure that you incorporate all those negative emotions into the I refuse part of your write-up. I refuse to be shamed by my past. I refuse to shame myself. I refuse to beat myself up because of the negative perfectionistic personality that has been ingrained onto me because of a particular situation. If you know that situation in the past, mention it. Go ahead and write your I refuse list. And after that, you want to be reading that to your own mind every day. Every day. The first 21 days are very critical because the brain readjusts your neurological pathways within 21 to 30 days. After that, then you can continue. Just keep going. Constant affirmation and constant expression of your feelings as you affirm those affirmations will start to reprogram the subconscious and start to make the brain to readjust its internal operating system. Another thing I want to suggest is that you've got to feel the emotions. Many of us who've been traumatized in the past will repress their emotions. An emotion that is suppressed is a truncated energy because emotion is energy. And if an unrepressed negative emotion remains unprocessed, it becomes expressed through other means, through sicknesses, through illnesses such as autoimmune diseases, even cardiovascular disease. We have different other degenerative diseases that studies have shown to be connected to repressed emotions. So how can you be open to emotions? And one of the first way to do that, one of the first things to do is to recognize that you are trying to be emotionless. Emotionless. You're trying to be, basically, what you are not is a false ego state that negative situations in the past have forced us to develop. So recognize that you are afraid of emotions. Then the second thing you do is try to develop your emotional neurological pathways by being open up, becoming open to emotional things. And the best way to start is to start to journal. Start to write things down. Write down your repressed emotions. A lot of things have hurt you in the past that you've not been able to even think about, let alone talk about. Start to write them down. And feel the feeling. If you have to cry. Crying when you're processing emotions, one of the most powerful ways to walk through that emotional distress. And you realize that usually after a good cry, it moves gradually into a state of laughter. You start to burst into a little laughter. You start to become a little bit more positive, a little bit more sympathetic towards yourself. Self-compassion is what is lost when we've been ingrained with toxic shame and toxic anxiety as a result of the way we were treated in the past. If you start to do that, you start to see an elevated state of energy within you. And self-compassion will come naturally. Self-compassion will come naturally. And the third thing I'd like you to do is that thing I've just mentioned, self-compassion. Imagine a little you that went through those things that you went through in the past. It could be maybe you've been shamed in primary school, or you've been, your body, has been compromised sexually. So that is now giving you a lot of problems now with regards to relationships. You struggle to forge, to form a very healthy relationship, or maybe it's emotions that have been compromised, that you've detached, you've kind of split off. You have a sense of self-split, a sense of self-rupturing that no longer connects with anything that has to do with emotions. Or it could just be your cognitive functions that have been compromised because they've spoken to you several times that you're stupid, you are not good, you are not wanted. They make you feel as if they've made you feel as if you are a second class citizen. Now it is time to remodel or refather yourself through your own powerful affirmation, through self-compassion. Speak to yourself every day. Imagine the little you and say, I'm here for you. You are a good person. Even though you've been made to feel bad, you are good. And I'm always going to be there for you. It is okay to make mistakes. There's no such thing as perfection. You are good enough. You are good enough. You don't have to seek perfectionism. You don't have to please anybody, try to please anybody. Just understand that I'm here to help you. Whatever you need, I'm here to help you. I will never shame you. I will never use guilt to motivate your behavior. I will never walk away from you. I'm here with you in my heart. And together, we are moving towards a state of self-expression. Now, this is a metaphor that we've used in therapy for many years now, that has been able to help people to resolve their internal states, so that they could re-nurture themselves through self-talk into a state of a higher level of mind, so that they could actually get on with life. And even your physical symptoms of anxiety, of apathy, of dejection, of depression, abandonment, depression will start to fade away gradually. Now, the last thing is that you've got to connect to life. You cannot withdraw from life. Life is a healer. People, when we connect to life, in our workshops, I usually talk about the 4 P's. The 4 P's. No, that's not 4. That's 5. 4 P's. Number 1 is people. Connect with people. Number 2, planet, nature. Connect with planet. Number 3, pet. If you love pet, powerful, connect with pet. Lastly, connect with prayer. Prayer is the highest form of affirmation. Prayer is the ultimate form of affirmation. And we are all spiritual. Spirituality does not mean religiosity. Spirituality is to know that there's something bigger than you that can be a powerful resource towards your journey in life. And we ask you, connect with life. When you go out, go walking, appreciate life, appreciate nature, appreciate people without judging. Even though you've been dented by people before, appreciate all the people that you see, because not everybody is a bad person. Appreciate nature, appreciate pets. If you see any pets around or any animals around, just send wishes, prayers. Now, appreciate prayer through gratitude and appreciation. And do this regularly. You're going to be seeing a shift of energy within you. And before you know it, things will start to change. Things will start to change. I'm this is too long. This is too long. No, I don't know what I'm saying. But hopefully this has been useful to you. My personal journey has taught me so much. And that is why I'm committed to helping other people as much as I can. Some people, now, was Chris, if you're watching, I wanted to show you my environment in the middle of this talk, but I decided to not to because I realized what you said when you came to my house last time. That come on, just get on with this talk while I don't show me your environment. I'm gonna show you this one because I've finished my talk. Now I'm at sea. I'm at sea. Just moving from Belfast. We just finished our Belfast conferences. Moving from Belfast to Scotland. There's a place I can't say. I think it's Sainrine. I'm sure you guys know that place. It's Canrine Port. I've got to speak for a particular organization at Kilmarnock tomorrow. So you can see where I am. We're just about to. I think we're moving right now. Yes, we're moving right now. My own little room here. If you like to see rooms, there's not a lot in this room, but it's good for me to meditate and get some work done while we travel. So it's one Oladipo here. Oh, the very best. I wanted to realize that the journey of life is a journey, is a test of character, a test of endurance, a test of tenacity. So whatever we've gone through, we learn lessons from them, and we move through the time into making those things we've learned in the past to be the instruments to get other people to where they want to be. So never give up. Never give up. If you like this, if you enjoy this today, please like it and share it to people in your group. Perhaps there'll be someone that'll be encouraged. Maybe they're struggling right now. Maybe they're at the end of their rope. Please don't underestimate the power of speech, of word that I've spoken today. All the very best. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.